Let's talk about a piece that I've got coming up on TexasFootball.com, the winningest Texas high school football districts, the new districts. So there is a lot of different ways to break down the UIL realignment, right? The new districts are out, the new regions are out. We're trying to figure out what the toughest districts are, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. You wrote a piece on TexasFootball.com that was pretty subjective. You were just like, I'm going to look at these districts, and I'm going to find the districts that I think are the toughest, right? Just using your expertise, knowing Texas high school football, and knowing, being in the Texas high school football world as long as you have. That's a good way to do it. Another way that we did it was we took our computer rankings and we really went through the data and we averaged out their ratings and we figured out which district had the highest overall rating and stuff like that. And that was a pretty good way of doing it. Two, there were some that we agreed on, some that we disagreed on. But that's the value of it. But sometimes you just need to think simply. And you just need to, because the name of the game in football is winning the game.
Whoa, really?
You play to win the game, as a great man once said. So, here's what we did, and here's what I did. Well, last night, I got my spreadsheet.
You're like a little Excel nerd.
I love Excel.
You are.
I do love me
Excel
some
nerd.
Excel. I am. Sometimes it drives me nuts, but I do love Excel. Anyway, I got my little spreadsheet, and I went through, and all I did, this is real simple. I just took the number of games that each team won last year in 2019. And then I added them up got a total for each district, right? And then I just divided it by the number of teams in the district. Okay? The average number of wins for a district. That is, I freely recognize that is not, that there are some flaws in that, right? That, for example, if you played in a super duper duper weak region, and you just had the best district in your region, then maybe you got to dominate that. That's fine. But at the same time, I also think that everything more or less comes out in the wash. And I got to tell you, when I looked at these numbers, I do feel like we have it's a pretty decent gauge of what some of the best and toughest districts, or at least deepest districts in the state are. Because that's the biggest thing that this measures is, and I think one of the things that people got caught up on with our computer rankings things was if you have one really bad team in your district or two really bad teams in your district,
it'll drag it down.
It doesn't matter how good.
Oh, that's yeah.
That was right. That was the biggest thing. Like with District 11 6A, I think that's why it was on the list of the toughest districts by the computers. Or I'm sorry, by your subjective measure, and not by the computers, because for you are looking at that with some level of nuance, and you're going, oh wait, look at these teams at the top. You're saying Duncanville, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, Hewitt Midway, these really, really good teams.
Lake Ridge on any given year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong for that.
Computer sees Waco, Waxahachie, Strawberry.
That's exactly right. They see those at the bottom and they drag it down. Yeah. So this is going to be a little bit more, I think this is actually a nice meeting point in the middle. So I've got the top 5 up. We'll have a whole thing on TexasFootball.com with the toughest ones. But we have the top 5 toughest districts in Texas high school football, or at least as far as winningest districts. The 5th winningest district with 8.8 wins per team, an average of 8.8 wins, is District 21 6A. That is Galena Park North Shore, Atascocita. I think it's easy to see that, right? Because helped out by that, and I think the real low-key reason that this was so tough is you've got a team like Humble, which was a 10-win team a year ago, right? You've got teams that were really, really good. You've got Beaumont Westbrook, which was a 9-win team. C.E. King was a 7-win team. There were only 2 teams that were under 500. One of them was Summer Creek. They were 4-6. Yeah. The other was Kingwood, and they were 5-6. Like, they made the playoffs. And so with 8.8 wins per team, District 21 6A is the 5th winningest district. 4th winningest district, I'm going to 6-man. 11 1A Division I. This one surprised me. This is the Blum District. Blum.
We love Blum.
The state champions, of course. Blum. This is their district that they're in there with Milford, Avalon, Covington, and Bynum. First and foremost, there was only one team in that district that didn't make the playoffs, and that was Covington, and they went 8-2. Right? Like, talk about just losing the wrong 2 games.
Right.
So everyone else, you've got a 13-win team in Blum, an 11-win team in Avalon, and then Bynum and Milford went 7-4. So very strong, top to bottom. District 11, 1A Division 1. They're the 4th winningest district. The 3rd winningest district, going to 4A. District 5, 4A Division 1. This is the La Vega district, but this is a super deep district as well. You've got La Vega, 14 wins. Obviously, I don't need to introduce you to them.
Right.
Brownwood went 11-1. 11-2 rather. Then you add in 2 9-win teams in Alvarado and Midlothian Heritage. And your 2 other teams are Waxahachie Life, who went 7-4, and Stephenville, who went 6-5. There are no losing teams in that district. All 6 of them made the playoffs last year. In fact, only one of them, Waxahachie Life, didn't win a playoff game. As a result, they come out with 9.3 wins on average in District 5 4A Division 1. Number 2 on the list, we're staying in 4A. We're staying in 4A Division 1. And again, one that I think the numbers and subjectively we agree on, 15 4A Division 1.
Absolutely.
This is that Corpus Christi, Southeast Texas district where you've got Cal Allen, Calhoun, Corpus Christi Miller, Beeville Jones, Allison, Toloso, Midway. And a lot of that is those top 5. You've got a 12-win team in Cal Allen, a 12-win team in Miller, an 11-win team in Beeville Jones, and 2 9-win teams in Calhoun and Alice. And even that other team, Toloso Midway, and I know I've banged this drum before, they were not lunch meat last year. They were 4-6.
Right.
And so whereas, yes, they're the weakest team from a winning percentage district in that, or win total in that district, that's still pretty strong, and that doesn't drag you down as far as you'd think.
And Calhoun just dropped down. So that's
Oh, no. Oh,
that
yeah.
makes it even
Cal Allen
tougher.
drops down. Calhoun drops down.
drops
Miller drops down. All of them drop down with the exception of Beeville Jones, who is an 11-win team. That's what's incredible, is that really that might be underrating the district, this type of thing, because these are drop downs. These guys did it at the 5A level.
Right.
They're winning double-digit wins. That's the interesting thing. But the winningest district with 9.8 wins on average, which is insane. Do you have a guess?
When we need my soundboard.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a really good guess. Because I feel like it could be... my head's going to, I'm trying to figure out which... Do
you want a hint?
Is it a district in Region 3?
No.
No.
Region
Okay.
4. And think about
4.
which division Region 4 is such a monster.
2A.
Mm-hmm.
2AD1.
Oh, 2AD1.
2AD1.
So
Let's
is-
go!
Hold up. Let's see.
2AD1.
He's
I'm
looking
going
at the
to look at it
districts.
right now. Yeah, I'm just going to look.
Yeah. Yep.
13?
13!
There we go.
District 13, 2A Division 1 is the winningest district in Texas high school football, the new district. And it's easy to see why. 4 10-win teams, including Shiner, 12 wins, Ganado, 10 wins, Weimer, 10 wins, Flatonia, 11 wins. And by the way, the other team in that district is Schulenburg, and they went 6-5. So you're talking about a team, a district, where you're talking almost 10 wins on average for those teams. That is a ridiculous district, and another one where I think the numbers and the subjective measures kind of line up, because it's easy to see that and be like, oh yeah, you've got a bona fide state championship contender in Shiner. You've got a 3A drop down in Ganado. You've got a promotion
In Flatonia.
in Flatonia. You've got another strong drop down that even, you look at Schulenburg, they're 6-5, but they're 6-5 in 3A Division 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I was thinking 21-6A.
Yeah.
Westbrook, North Shore,
Yeah.
Tascasita. I was thinking off the top of my head, so that's why I asked if it was in Region 3. But no, I mean, obviously you look down to, 2A Division 2, 2A Division 1, and it's hard to get out of.
Fixie say the moment you
Region
said
4.
Region 4, I
Right.
was like, that's got to be 2A Division
There
1.
were-
There's no, that is the...
If you're interested, and I'll have this in this
region.
piece up on TexasFootball.com in a moment, there were 3 other districts that had won that averaged at least 8 wins on average. One of them, let me pull this up and make sure I get this right, is District 3 4A Division 1. A lot of Division 1 love here, 4A Division 1 love. As when you take a look at, let me see what district is that. 3 4A Division 1 is the, come on, Excel. That's the Canyon, Dumas, Hereford, Pampa district.
Yeah.
And so you are looking at an extremely difficult district. That one is Dumas, Pampa, Canyon, Hereford. That also benefits because there's only 4 teams, right? And so you're dividing it fewer ways. 1A Division 1 is another one, and that's one that I don't think is getting enough attention. But that is, you've got a district, you've got McLean, White Deer, and Turkey Valley, who are very solid. You're adding in Happy, who's very good, and you're getting Claude, an 11-man drop down to 6-man. So that's going to be an extremely difficult district. The other one that averaged 8 wins is in 2A Division 2. That would be District 10. 10 2A Division 2 is the other one. That is the district with Mart, Bremond, Chilton, Hubbard, Wortham, and Frost. Another extremely deep Central Texas district. So there you go.
With a team, I got a question.
Yeah.
With a team like Claude, who's dropping down from 11-man to 6-man, do they typically get a new coach when they do that, or do they say, "Hey, study up, you're running 6-man now"?
Typically, you will see a coaching, like a new coach.
I feel like that's more on the coach's not
discretion,
wanting to coach 6-man.
Right.
Or probably
yeah.
not
Sometimes
feeling
like
equipped to coach
right.
6-man.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is there are guys who are. There are guys who will coach whatever. They'll coach 11-man, they'll coach 6-man. And I like asking 6-man coaches. I'm like, would you ever do 11-man? Some of them are like, yeah, I'd like the challenge. I'd like to be able to do that. But a lot of them are just 6-man lifers.
Yeah.
They just want to go and do that. It kind of depends. I don't know offhand what the coaching situation is at Claude. There's a couple of teams that are dropping to 11 or dropping to 6-man. But there's also teams that are moving from 6-man to 11-man.
Right.
So that's a different thing as well. So
Maybe they just switch coaches.
yeah,
Here,
exactly. They can just trade.
You'll have
Make a
mine, and I'll
trade.
have yours.
Yeah, make a trade with a first-round draft pick. Anyway, that's going up at TexasFootball.com. We'll be Texas High School Football Inside the Numbers piece on the winningest districts in Texas high school football.